back to Bloom. We all need a little motivation during these unprecedented times, and joining us with tips to stay spiritually grounded during a pandemic is Miranda Harrison-Quillin, the spiritual care coordinator at Suncoast Hospice. Welcome to Bloom, Miranda.
Thanks so much for having me. It's really my honor to be with you, Gail.
And we're so glad to have you in studio. As you can see, we are social distancing to stay safe, but it is really helpful to have you here talking about something so important during the pandemic. And I think, you know, a lot of folks maybe feel lost. They can't go to their places of worship or, you know, wherever they might find their spirituality, and you guys are here to help.
You're exactly right. It seems like a lot of people find their maintaining their spiritual practices in community with other people, and when we're encouraged to stay far away from others, it really puts a damper on that, or it can put a damper on that. So we really want to look to sort of our inward strength and resilience, and maybe to those people that we can connect with via technology to keep that spiritual practice and strength up in these times.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I really enjoy being in the group, you know, with others and to practice spirituality or whatever your faith may be. But what can we do during these times? Because it has been frustrating not having that connectivity.
It really is. The isolation can feel like a really heavy weight. Yeah. So I think probably the most important thing for all of us to do, whether we have a particular faith tradition, if we have, you know, any faith or no faith, that we practice compassion and giving ourselves grace. So everything is different. The world is upside down now than it was 3 months ago, or even, you know, before March of this year. And so giving ourselves a little bit of slack, and knowing that our energy level, our productivity, even our desire to connect with other people might be really, really different than it used to be, and that's okay. Yeah. So self-compassion and grace.
Yeah, it is, and oftentimes, you know, it seems like everything's so out of control, and you're just looking for what you can be grateful for, and that helps. But what should we think about during this moment in history? Because for many of us, we've never experienced anything like this, and we're raising kids, and we're trying to be an example. So what do we do?
Right, life doesn't stop just because the pandemic started, right? And so a small, tangible thing that we can all do every day is take something mundane or benign, like making a cup of coffee or walking the dog, and turn that into an exercise in gratitude or a practice in spirituality. I mean, making the cup of coffee, pouring and stirring and adding your milk and sugar, whatever it is, might seem small and meaningless, but if we approach it from a place of meaning, and we look for meaning, and we look for, dare I say, even hope in that small day-to-day practice, we can find that if that's how we're approaching it.
Yeah, just the little things, you know, one step at a time. Any other advice on how we can stay grounded?
Well, we want to look after our spiritual, our physical, our mental and emotional health. We can do an assessment on ourselves. We can focus on things like connectedness with others, forgiveness. Do we need to seek forgiveness? Do we need to give forgiveness? Do we need to look for forgiveness from ourselves? Meaning and hope as well, and hope not being, well, everything will be better when the pandemic's over, because who knows when that will be, and who knows what life will look like between now and then. But having sort of a quiet, abiding knowledge that whatever will happen, whatever needs to happen will happen, and then hopefully then some peace comes along with that hope as well.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, because this is all information that we can all use, and typically you think of hospice as your end of life, but this is something for today and for living. And I just, on a personal note, I just want to, you know, thank all hospice workers. I mean, you guys really were a saving grace when my parents, you know, passed away. So I appreciate the work that you guys do, because it is important. It's not just during times of death. It's you counsel family all the time.
Right. And if I can speak on behalf of hospice, not just here in the Bay Area, but it really is our honor and privilege to journey with people throughout different stages of life, and especially that very important and very precious end-of-life stage.
Thank you so much. You've been so helpful and comforting today. And for more information or support, you can visit suncoasthospice.org. Thank you, Miranda. We're going to be back with more Bloom right after this.